Tucked away in the rolling hills of Tennessee sits a sprawling southern estate where country music meets quiet family magic. But beyond the manicured lawn and the glistening pool lies something deeply personal. A barn named after a lost loved one, filled with rescued animals and the laughter of children. Today, we step inside Luke Bryan's Tennessee farm, a home rooted in love, built on resilience, and surrounded by the kind of southern charm only a true country star could create. Get ready to explore the mansions, the music, the cars, and the meaningful life behind the fame. Are you ready to ride? Before the awards, the sold-out stadiums, and the southern mansions, Luke Bryan was just a small-town boy with calloused hands and big dreams, dreams that had to wait. Born in Leesburg, Georgia, Luke grew up surrounded by peanut fields and Friday night football. His father, Tommy, ran a peanut mill. His mother, LeClaire, kept the home warm with laughter and gospel tunes. Music was always in the air, whether it was George Strait on the radio, Elvis on the record player, or young Luke trying to play along on the family piano. He wasn't just a dreamer. He was an athlete, a theater kid, and a local performer rolled into one. At Lee County High School, teachers spotted his stage presence early and encouraged him to pursue the arts. But as graduation approached, Luke had bigger plans. Nashville. He was ready to pack his bags at 19. And then, tragedy struck. His older brother Chris was killed in a car accident just days before Luke was set to leave. The family was shattered, and Luke made a decision most wouldn't. He stayed. "You can't leave your mama when her heart is breaking," he later said. So he put Nashville on hold, enrolled at Georgia Southern University, and helped out at his father's peanut mill. Music took a back seat, but it never left him. Life has a way of circling back. While studying business and performing with a band called Naomi Road, Luke reconnected with Caroline Boyer, a girl he once met at a college bar. Their spark reignited, and so did his ambition. 2 years later, at his father's urging, Luke finally did it. He loaded up his truck and drove to Nashville. It was time. He didn't walk into fame. At first, he worked behind the scenes writing songs for other artists. One of those songs, Good Directions for Billy Currington, hit #1 on the country charts. It was the break he needed. Capitol Records came calling, and in 2007, All My Friends Say introduced Luke Bryan to the world. But success wasn't overnight. His debut album, I'll Stay Me, was a slow burn. Singles like We Rode in Trucks and Countryman made modest waves, but Luke was just getting started. It was his sophomore effort, Doin' My Thing, that brought thunder. Rain Is a Good Thing and Someone Else Calling You Baby both shot to #1. Then came 2011. With Tailgates and Tan Lines, Luke Bryan became a country superstar. Country Girl, Shake It For Me, wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. He wasn't just topping country charts anymore, he was climbing the Billboard Hot 100. By 2013, he'd crafted an entire brand out of spring break party anthems. EPs like Spring Break, Here to Party were chart toppers. But don't mistake him for a one-trick cowboy. His next studio album, Crash My Party, unleashed a string of mega hits. Drink a Beer, That's My Kind of Night, and the title track all became anthems of a generation. And then came the record-breaking moment. Kill the Lights, 2015, became the first country album in history to deliver 6 consecutive #1 singles on Billboard's country airplay chart. 6, back to back. Suddenly, Luke Bryan wasn't just a country artist. He was Entertainer of the Year 5 times over, packing arenas, headlining festivals, and landing a seat as a judge on American Idol. But behind every note, behind every album, lay the weight of the family he'd lost and the love of the one he'd built. Luke never forgot his roots. In fact, he carried them with him, planting them into the soil of his Tennessee farm. Because for Luke Bryan, success has never just been about chart positions. It's about honoring where he came from and building a place where that love could grow. And now, it's time we visit that place, ready to step inside the home that love built. Let's head to Brentwood, Tennessee, farm in Tennessee. From the moment you pass through the iron gate and cruise down the shaded driveway of Luke Bryan's Brentwood estate, you sense it. This isn't just a celebrity home. It's a southern sanctuary, a place where music meets memory, where healing grows as naturally as magnolias. This is Luke Bryan's Tennessee farm, a sprawling retreat nestled in one of the most exclusive pockets of suburban Nashville. Set on over half an acre in Brentwood, the estate stretches across 6,620 square feet, balancing elegant design with country warmth. But more than its size, it's the spirit of the place that lingers. Step inside, and you're greeted by a foyer with ceilings that soar, vaulted, cathedral-like, flooding the entrance with light. Every detail whispers intentionality, from the stone fireplace that runs floor to ceiling in the living room to the dark wood beams that stretch across the ceiling like an old southern chapel. The open layout pulls you in. The kitchen is a chef's dream. State-of-the-art appliances, marble countertops, custom cabinetry, and an island big enough to host the whole Bryan clan. But it's not just about gourmet meals. It's about late-night laughter, about Caroline pouring wine while Luke fiddles with guitar chords nearby. Connected to the kitchen is a cozy family room, simple, unfussy, lived in. Smart lighting and motorized shades give it a modern edge, but the heart of the space remains old-fashioned. Couches you can sink into, a back porch just steps away, and windows that open out into thick green woods. Every bedroom in this home tells a story. Each has its own walk-in closet and private bathroom, making it perfect for a family that has grown beyond 2 kids. Especially when your nephews and nieces become part of your household. The primary suite? It's a sanctuary within a sanctuary. Soft tones, elegant textiles, and a window view that turns golden at sunset. Head downstairs, and you'll find what every touring musician dreams of. A custom home theater, complete with plush seating, surround sound, and blackout curtains. This is where the Bryans host movie nights, Super Bowl parties, or just unwind after long recording sessions. But the magic isn't just inside. Walk out to the backyard and it opens into a scene out of a southern fairy tale. A resort-style pool glistens beneath a wooden pergola. Stone pavers lead to a fire pit perfect for s'mores and stories. And just beyond the yard's edge, a forest that seems to go on forever. A gentle nod to the open Georgia fields where Luke grew up. It's here, surrounded by nature and peace, that the most meaningful part of the property comes to life. Brett's barn. Built in honor of Luke's late niece, Sadie Brett Boyer, the barn isn't just symbolic. It's a working animal sanctuary. With over 20 rescued animals, from goats to mini horses, the barn welcomes children battling illness to experience something magical. For Luke and Caroline, this isn't a side project. It's the heartbeat of the entire farm. And it all makes sense, because this home wasn't made to show off. It was made to hold space for love, to bring family together after loss, to make room for joy, healing, music, and a bit of good old southern mischief. According to real estate site Redfin, the home is valued at just over $1 million. But agents agree, if it hit the market today, the celebrity factor alone could drive the price as high as $5 million. Yet no appraisal can capture the value of what this home means to the Bryans. It's the kind of house where gospel music still floats through the hallways, where kids run barefoot through the grass, where neighbors are welcome and Sunday dinners are sacred. And above all, it's a reminder that even the biggest stars need a place to come home to, a place to breathe, to be. So while Luke Bryan may travel the world, this farm in Brentwood is where his soul rests. And yet, as serene as Tennessee is, there's another place, bluer, brighter, kissed by salt air, where Luke once escaped to let the ocean winds sing back up to his country heart. Let's head down south to his Florida retreat, mansion in Florida. If the Tennessee farm is where Luke Bryan finds his roots, then his former Florida beach mansion is where he let his soul breathe. Imagine it, salty breezes, sunlit balconies, and waves crashing just feet away from your bedroom window. Welcome to Santa Rosa Beach, along Florida's Gulf Coast, a place where turquoise waters stretch endlessly and where Luke Bryan once built his perfect coastal escape. The home is a 3-story masterpiece nestled on a narrow stretch of sugary white sand, boasting 95 feet of private beachfront that opens directly onto the Gulf of Mexico. But this isn't just a vacation house. It's a retreat built with intention. Every square foot reflects a desire for serenity, comfort, and that unmistakable touch of Southern style. From the outside, the house blends into the dunes with understated charm, muted tones, wrap-around Southern-style balconies, and classic architecture that whispers elegance instead of shouting extravagance. But step inside, and the space tells a different story. The interior is an orchestration of luxury and light, 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, each crafted with custom details, marble countertops, hardwood floors, and vaulted ceilings that stretch skyward like sails in the wind. Expansive floor-to-ceiling windows flood the space with natural light, offering panoramic views of the rolling ocean at every turn. The master suite, perched high on the 3rd floor, is nothing short of breathtaking. Imagine waking up and stepping out onto a private balcony, coffee in hand, watching the sun rise over emerald waters. The ensuite bathroom features a soaking tub positioned just right for sunset views. At the heart of the home lies an open-concept living and dining area where light dances across soft linen drapes and ocean breeze drifts in through screened French doors. The gourmet kitchen is trimmed in high-end stainless steel, with a massive island and elegant pendant lighting, built not just for function, but for gathering, laughter, and slow, Southern-style breakfasts. But perhaps the most soul-soothing spot of all is the outdoor pool. Tucked behind a gated walkway, the pool offers unmatched privacy. Palm trees sway, sea oats rustle, and the gentle splash of water feels more like music than noise. A private boardwalk leads you from the pool deck, over soft dunes, and onto your own quiet stretch of beach. There's a subtle magic in this place. No paparazzi, no red carpets, just the rhythm of the tide and the heartbeat of a man who needed a place to reconnect with himself. Originally listed for nearly $18 million, the home eventually landed on the market at $12.9 million, a price that reflects both its opulence and its soul. Not just a beach house, but a chapter in the life of one of country music's most beloved stars. Luke and his family spent precious moments here: sunsets, summer breaks, holidays, and healing. It was a sanctuary where the chaos of fame melted away under the Florida sun. And though they no longer own the property, its essence remains forever etched into their story. A story that blends country roots with coastal calm. One that proves even the busiest stars know when it's time to slow down, take off their boots, and let the ocean do the singing. But of course, when you live life on the road, there's one thing you can't leave behind, and that's the thrill of the drive. Some stars collect watches, others chase yachts. But Luke Bryan? He finds his joy behind the wheel, with the windows down, country music up, and a southern breeze in his hair. His car collection isn't enormous, but it's personal, each vehicle tied to a memory, a mood, or a piece of the man himself. From vintage muscle to rugged utility, Luke's garage reflects the same grounded charisma that made him a household name. Cars, Chevrolet Chevelle, the Rebel Classic. Let's start with the showstopper, a classic Chevrolet Chevelle, likely from the golden era of the late 60s. With its muscular silhouette, wide grille, and deep growl of a V8 engine, the Chevelle is a symbol of pure Americana, and it fits Luke perfectly. Why the Chevelle? Because it's raw, real, and refuses to pretend. Much like the man who drove it, this car is built to move, not to pose. You can almost picture Luke behind the wheel on a summer evening, blasting Country Girl, Shake It For Me, with a cooler in the back and dirt on the tires. This isn't just a collector's piece. It's a throwback to simpler days, long drives down Georgia backroads, and the kind of freedom you don't find in tour buses. Chevrolet Silverado 1500Z71, the workhorse. Next comes the Chevy Silverado 1500Z71, Luke's go-to truck when it's time to get dirty. Whether he's hauling gear, heading to a hunting lodge, or towing equipment for a charity event, this beast does it all. With a 5.3-liter V8 engine, off-road suspension, and hill descent control, the Z71 is built for adventure. But for Luke, it's more than just horsepower. It's heritage. It reminds him of the trucks his father used on the peanut farm, of small-town roots and big-time grit. And here's the charm. Luke doesn't just keep this truck in a showroom, he uses it. Mud splatters, scratches on the bed liner, each mark tells a story. Classic Ford Bronco, the Southern Cruiser, and then there's the classic Ford Bronco, a retro icon reborn. With its boxy frame, white top, and vintage blue body, it's part SUV, part time machine. This Bronco isn't about speed, it's about vibe. Think backroad picnics, trips to the lake, or a quiet cruise through town on a Sunday afternoon. The kind of drive where you're not in a hurry because the destination doesn't matter. The ride is the moment. Many believe this Bronco was restored to Luke's personal taste, retaining its old-school exterior while upgrading the interior with leather seats, modern sound systems, and off-road ready tires. It's a nod to where he's been and who he still is underneath the fame. These cars don't sit idle in silence. They're alive with stories. First dates, late-night food runs, surprise drives with the kids, or quiet moments when Luke just needed to feel the hum of an engine beneath his boots. They represent the boy from Leesburg who never let go of the road, no matter how high the stage got. But what fuels a garage like this? What pays for luxury cars, custom barns, beachfront views, and charitable foundations? To answer that, we shift gears into the heart of Luke Bryan's empire, his unstoppable earning power. As of 2025, Luke Bryan's net worth is estimated at a staggering $160 million. And it didn't come from just selling records. It came from building an empire, one guitar string and business deal at a time. And the way he uses it tells you everything about the man behind the microphone. But perhaps no use of wealth speaks louder than the way he gives it back. Philanthropy. Not every act of generosity starts with a smile. Some begin with heartbreak. In 2017, Luke Bryan's family was rocked by yet another loss, the passing of their infant niece, Sadie Brett Boyer, at just 7 months old. She had battled congenital heart issues and Down syndrome. And despite every effort, her fragile little body couldn't keep going. For most families, grief of this magnitude might remain quiet and private. But Luke and his wife Caroline chose a different path, one that turned pain into purpose. That path led to a red barn in the middle of their Tennessee farm. It's called Brett's Barn, named in honor of their beloved niece, and it quickly became more than just a structure. It became a haven. A place where children battling illness can laugh, play, and connect with over 20 rescued animals, from goats and donkeys to miniature horses and alpacas. Each animal has its own story, some abandoned, others saved from neglect, but all of them now live in peace, serving a greater mission. Caroline once said, "If we couldn't save Brett, maybe we could save something in her name." That sentiment echoes in every bale of hay, every brushstroke on the barn door, every giggle from a child meeting a gentle animal for the first time. But Brett's Barn is just the beginning. In the wake of their loss, the Bryans also co-founded the Brett Boyer Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to raising awareness and funding for congenital heart disease, CHD, and Down syndrome research. What began as a family tribute has grown into a national movement, with fundraisers, campaigns, and advocacy programs that reach far beyond Tennessee. One of the foundation's signature events is Bike for Brett, held annually on World Down Syndrome Day. Cyclists of all ages come together to ride in Brett's honor, raising thousands of dollars for research and hospital support. It's part celebration, part remembrance, and entirely about love. But Luke's heart doesn't stop at his own family's causes. He's been a longtime supporter of City of Hope, the American Red Cross, and other organizations tied to causes like AIDS research, disaster relief, and children's health care. During natural disasters, Luke has quietly donated both money and supplies to affected communities, never seeking headlines, just impact. And of course, music has always been part of the giving. Luke has headlined benefit concerts, donated proceeds from tours, and even auctioned off personal memorabilia to raise funds for pediatric hospitals and education programs. His fans, known as the Nut House, often rally around his causes, organizing local fundraisers inspired by his example. It's not just a fan base, it's a movement of kindness. So what drives this level of compassion? It's simple. Luke Bryan knows what it feels like to lose. He knows what it means to miss someone every day. And he spent his life building not just wealth, but legacy. A legacy that doesn't sit in a bank account, but walks on 4 legs in a red barn. That shines in a child's eyes when they ride a pony for the first time. That lingers in the laughter shared on a farm porch at dusk. This is what giving back looks like when it comes from the deepest parts of your soul. For Luke Bryan, charity isn't about obligation, it's about family. It's about turning loss into light. And it's about making sure that even the smallest life can spark the biggest love. But beyond the tours, the barns, and the foundations, what's life like when the cameras are off? Let's step into the private world of Luke Bryan, father, husband, and Southern soul at peace. Personal life. At the center of it all is Caroline Boyer, his college sweetheart turned lifelong partner. Their love story began with a chance meeting at a bar near Georgia Southern University where she was a freshman and he a senior. Years and reunions later, they married in 2006 and have since weathered every storm together. They've raised 2 sons, Beau and Tate, in an environment where fame exists, but family always comes first. Luke often says the best part of his day is being home, being dad. But their parenting journey expanded in a way neither expected. After the tragic loss of Luke's sister Kelly in 2007 and her husband Ben in 2014, the Bryans opened their home and hearts to their nieces and nephew. Overnight, the family grew, not just in number, but in depth. Luke and Caroline embraced their new roles without hesitation, transforming their farm into a true multi-generational home filled with chaos, laughter, and healing. Faith also grounds them. Sundays often mean church, followed by dinner with friends who've known them since before the fame. They're not chasing trends, they're chasing stillness. And that's what makes the Bryans feel so different. Their life may be built atop a country music empire, but it's rooted in something deeper: loyalty, resilience, and love that's weathered loss. There are no velvet ropes here, just open gates, open arms, and a front porch ready for whoever needs a place to land. And maybe that's the real secret to Luke Bryan's enduring magic. Not just the music, but the man behind it. From the dirt roads of Leesburg to the sold-out stages of Nashville, from a red barn built in memory to beachside sunsets in Florida, Luke Bryan's journey is more than just a country music success story. It's a living, breathing tribute to resilience, family, and faith. He's built a life not to escape from where he came from, but to honor it. Brick by brick, note by note, mile by mile. And maybe that's what makes him different. Because while fame may come and go, the sound of laughter on a farm porch, the roar of an old Chevelle engine, and the quiet love of a family that chooses to stand tall through tragedy, that's timeless. If this story moved you, inspired you, or simply made you smile, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who loves a good story rooted in heart and home. And as always, thanks for riding along.